I have a lot of plants, which means I have to do a whole lot of plant chores. Things like watering, taking my plants outside and cleaning them, repotting them, chopping them, and so on. I don't like to refer to them as chores, to be honest, because they're not really chores. That's my hobby. That's my job. I chose this. Nobody forced me to have that many plants. I enjoy doing the plant care. It's very therapeutic to me, and I definitely also enjoy the end result. I love having healthy, clean, good-looking plants that I can then use to decorate my apartment with. And actually that sort of decorating and rearranging, that's actually my favorite part of plant care. That's really where all of the plant care throughout the year comes to full fruition, where I can actually then go ahead and make the best out of these plants that I have been looking after for so long. And this room behind me is definitely my favorite. It's my office. It's where I spend by far the most time. You're actually on my desk as we're talking. This is where I edit all of my YouTube videos. So I am constantly surrounded by these plants. I constantly look at them and I really love this space. However, every few months or so, it is time to switch it up a little bit. Plants grow, get much larger, take up a different space than they used to, and so on. So every, 2 to 3 months, I actually like to rearrange over here a little bit to perfect the setup yet again. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're doing a full day of plant care in my office. We're gonna take all of these plants, we're gonna obviously look at them in a little bit more detail. We're taking them outside, we're watering them, we're cleaning them, we're then also cleaning the room in here, and then we're putting everything back, rearranging to hopefully optimize the setup even further. While we're doing all of that, we're having a bit of a chat. So, let's go. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to my office. Today I have a few things that I really want to achieve with this rearranging. First of all, I don't think you can even see it anymore. There is an IKEA cabinet hidden behind these plants over there. But the plants have really taken over. I mean, I'm not complaining. I think these are some of the nicest leaves I have ever grown over there, but it makes it such an inconvenience to get into the IKEA cabinet that I kind of just been ignoring the IKEA cabinet and not really staying on top of my watering and so on. When I say I enjoy plant care, I really do, but plant care still needs to be somewhat convenient and effective for me. And I really hate getting in there because I kind of just bump into the lights, I bump into the leaves, I kind of rip leaves by opening the doors and so on. It's just such an inconvenience. I don't want to do it. Not because I'm lazy, wouldn't say anxiety, it's too harsh of a word, but it makes me uncomfortable trying to get in there. It makes me worried for my plants trying to get in there. So it's not going to work going forward for me. If I want to start looking after these plants in the IKEA cabinet a little bit better, I need to get this IKEA cabinet in a position that is more accessible. And that should then free up a little bit more room for more plants, because I do have a few plants that I would actually love to add to this wall over here. Also keep in mind we are currently in autumn over here, so we are fast approaching winter, and with that there will be a few plants that come from the outside and the greenhouse inside to overwinter. So I need to also free up some space. Now, to free up space I probably should get rid of a few of the duplications. See how we go about that. The second thing I want to work on is this little island in the middle. Of course I need that island because that's what's kind of, creating the conditions in here that the plants love. I have my fan over here. The fan, always circulates air, and especially in a room that is quite small like this one, it's really important to have air circulating all of the time when you have so many plants in there. But also it serves as a heater during the cooler months, right? So this one enables me to keep the room at around 20 degrees at all times. Obviously, like in summer it doesn't cool it, and in summer it can easily go up to 26, 27, 20, I've seen 28 in here. I don't have air conditioning in here. I do have windows, but I don't have fly screens on the windows, so I can only open them when I can supervise so that bread can't escape. Anyway, so basically the fan is ensuring the airflow in this room and the heat, and then the lights ensure that these plants get light. This is a south-facing window, which is the worst exposure you can have in Australia. So I get a little bit of afternoon sun in the summer months from like, there's a bit of a west-facing window here as well. But during winter, I will not get any direct sun coming through here. So first of all, that means less heat from the sun, but also less light. Even by the window, like even the plants that are in the window will struggle over the cooler months because of the decreased light exposure, which means that these plants over here that are good 2 to 3 meters away from the worst window you could possibly have will definitely not grow at all ever during any time of the year unless I supplement light. So hence I've got the lights, and I like the leaves to face me. So having the lights come from the front enables me to have this beautiful display side of all of my plants facing forward, facing me. So I can push them up against the wall, which also makes it space efficient and the most stable option as well. So I love these lights. They're from Mother, they're plant spectrums. But I'm not happy with the way it looks. The lights are kind of like dodgily mounted on top of each other. It's not super straight. As you can see, these lights were never supposed to be extended in the way that I have. It's working, it's functional, but I think we can do better. So I also want to tackle this little island in the middle, which also kind of closes in on the room a little bit, right? So see what we can do with that. But lots of talk. Let's start taking some plants out, and let's look at them a little bit as I take them out. But let's get rid of this island in the middle first so we can operate a little bit better in here. Right. Oh my god, look how dark it is. Right, have a look at this. See how this is not straight. It's been bothering me for so long. And then obviously I just screwed them on top of each other with the screw that's normally supposed to go into the base. Here, see that screw down there? Yeah, I just use that to screw them together, but then I also have the cable running here, and then I have all of this here. So I want to work on the cable management a little bit as well. By the way, the only thing that makes you see anything right now is like my little filming light. If it wasn't for the filming light, it would be so dark in here. That's crazy. Wow. Actually, just getting rid of these things in the middle makes this room seem so much bigger. Crazy. I freed up a bit of space outdoors so I can kind of hook them into the fence, hook them into the umbrella. I'll take you out in a sec as well. But why don't we just go in chronological order? I'll take them out, I'll quickly show you those. But I think you've seen them all in detail recently. Now they don't actually all need watering. I keep them pretty moist at the moment. I've been doing a good job, but I would just love to clean the leaves just with water. I actually have had a bad spider mite infestation in this office over the last few months, but I got on top of it using Killamite, and I haven't seen anything over the last 3 or 4 weeks at least. So I think I'm fine, but I just want to stay proactive by keeping the leaves clean. Go, that's the Sordiroy. It is a work in progress, and I am tempted to cut off a few more leaves. But let's see how it fits into the new arrangement later. I'm not hesitant to cut leaves if they don't fit in the arrangement, even if they're healthy. Next up, is this too dark now? Oh my god. If I could hire somebody for my business, I would hire a light guy. I can do the editing, I can do all of this, but the light is doing my head in. Anyway, this is my Billy Coysum. Cute. New addition to the wall. I don't think it's ever had a clean in its life, so I think it's about time. My pride and joy. I really need to do a full video about her soon, but look at this newest leaf. Incredible. You can't even see how incredible beautiful this leaf is because it's so messy in the back over there. So, wow. Yeah, I think tomorrow I want to do a full video on this plant because look how gorgeous it is. Oh my god, I love it. Patricia looking stunning. Oh my god, so pretty. My El Choco looking good. It's getting a little yellow around the edges. I suppose it is what it is. Big new cutter fill over here, but hasn't given me a leaf since the chop and extend. So I'm patiently waiting, but there's some root growth at least. That's positive. All right. By the way, and I think I said that before, but these leaves have such a wide spread, right? It's hard to get through doorways with them. I walk backwards so the leaves can't get destroyed too much. I'm gonna do the glorious last. I'm gonna go with the easy ones first. Milano also not given me a new leaf since the chop and extend, but that's okay. I'm patiently waiting. No words needed. Look at this new leaf unfurling over here. Which one was the one before that? This was the, no. Yeah, this was the latest one. Yeah, I don't need to say anything about this plant. Honestly, the easiest grower as well. With the last rearrangement, I have chopped off pretty much all of the bottom leaves. Some were definitely getting a little ugly-ish, but mainly because they were taking up so much space. Like this plant filled the entire room pretty much by itself. Also, as you can see, all of the leaves are kind of starting to face to the right a little bit. That's because it was on the left side of the room, so the light came from the right, if you're thinking about its position. You know what I mean? Anyway, so maybe with this rearrangement it would be a good idea to have it on this side of the wall so that the lights come from the left to kind of even that out over time, right? So those are the kind of things that I do, or that's why I rearrange all the time. Well, when I last rearranged, this plant wasn't quite as high, for example, right? And didn't have this sort of right tilt and so on. So because especially over the growing season, plants grow so fast and change so much, I feel the need to rearrange, but it's not a need, like I enjoy that moment. Now, I used to actually do this every Saturday. I would take all of my plants into the bathtub every Saturday, water them, spray them thoroughly, and then take them back and rearrange. Majestic, something needs to happen. I don't think I will include the Majestic in the new iteration of the wall, because I'm gonna, when I find time, hopefully next week, I want to chop this back substantially. So this is my second verrucosum. Oh, lighting is terrible today. Basically over here I chopped this into many bits, basically between every couple of nodes, to create a really lush pole of verrucosum instead of a big one. But I've only done that recently, so they're all now just starting to show little buds, but no leaves yet. And then once the new leaves show, I will cut off all the ugly ones that show spider mite damage. That's a good one to see the spider mite damage on, for example, right? So the spider mites were definitely here, like they had a field day. Now I don't know if I'm going to include this in the next iteration of the wall as well. It's not going to be a priority. If it fits, it will stay. If not, I'll find a different spot for it. So here we go. But it was kind of against that window there anyway. So I think I don't have any other plans for that corner for now. So here we go. That's a future Jan issue. Like, I mean, two hours in the future Jan, but still. Next up, we've got my gigas. Hasn't really done much, but it's nice and lush and kind of compact. So you saw all of these other plants that I took out before. They have huge petioles, huge leaves. So this one is a really nice space efficient plant in here. So I'm really happy with that. Verrucosum titanium was also hit by the spider mites down there, but look at the newest leaf. How pretty is that? And so nice and heart-shaped. Probably one of the nicest leaves. It has, yeah, definitely by far the best leaf it has ever grown actually. This one is my Escalado, looking really good, and look at this newest leaf. Oh, also very exciting. Here we've got a little experiment similar to the Friedeck with the Jacqueline. And talking about the Friedeck, here it is, still going really strong. And yes, I have a third verrucosum in this room. This one I'm trying to grow as a little trailing plant. I thought it would be cute. Alright, apart from the IKEA cabinet, which we're gonna address in a sec, last one. I've been really treading this one. It shouldn't be too bad, but I also recently watered this. And, ooh, nice roots. It's heavy and it's ginormous. Philodendron glorious. Ah, oh, isn't she glorious? Bloody hell. that is one sexy plant. Let's go outside, let's hoist them down so they have as much time as possible to dry, and then we can tackle the rest of the room. Let's do that. Alrighty, here we are. As you can see, I used the umbrella and then kind of just hook these plants into the umbrella. I used the umbrella base as well. Over here, that is just hooked into the umbrella again. And then we've got also some here, they're hooked into the fence. Yay! So basically, it's a mess, but it enables me to clean all of them from both sides without them hopefully falling. But let's find out. And I just go with the shower setting. I think that's usually my favorite. You don't want it to be too strong to rip the leaves. The mist setting works as well, but I find it sometimes to be too strong. It just throws the leaves around and sometimes even punctures the leaves. And while they might not necessarily need watering, I will still water the moss pole and the pot as well, because this is my flushing out cycle. I provide liquid nutrients with every watering, and in summer sometimes I even have to water them twice a week, right? So I do a week dilution, but overall it's still a good idea to just flush the substrate and the poles out to prevent mineral buildup and then prevent ultimately burning. Or sometimes that can also cause yellow edges if there's too many minerals provided and so on. So, you know, just a good thorough cleanse on the outside and hopefully cleansing it from the inside as well. You know, clean leaves also help the plant photosynthesize better, and also clean leaves prevent pests. Now, obviously I'm just spraying it with water here. That's not going to eradicate any pests. This is not pest treatment in itself, but what I'm doing is at least spraying off pests. So pests have a harder time taking hold of the plant, causing visual damage. But most importantly, a clean leaf is actually just more resilient to pests in the first place. Oh my god, I'm getting so much backsplash. Also with new leaves unfurling, the thorough showering kind of helps them unfurl a little bit. I never missed my plants. That would just cause too many fungal issues. I either do a thorough job and properly water them, or I don't do it at all. Okay. I think I'm done, huh? Alrighty, our work is done here. Let's head back inside. I have you on crazy wide angle. I mean, you can see, look, from this wall to the far end, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 steps. It's honestly a tiny room. I'm just removing the big plants out of it in case something falls. They don't fall and smash. But all the little ones I think I'll keep. Actually, I think I'll see how I go. I might need to, you know what, I'll put them all in the sink. They're also gonna get watered. Let's just do it properly. And I've got a helper. Hi. Ta-da! Just in case I didn't want to do the IKEA cabinet all by myself. I know you guys don't like this one. But I don't know. I'm liking it recently. But to be honest, yeah, the less variegation and choice, the nicer it looks. Kinda defeats the purpose then. I need to change your battery, but let me also show you where we are proposing to put this. Okay, we're in the living room. Sorry, we already rearranged. Basically, thanks to whoever left that comment saying that the IKEA cabinet should just go under the aircon because the IKEA cabinet is not subject to the cold draft or the hot draft when I use this for heating, right? So the environment is more protected, so it doesn't mind being right under the heater / aircon, which I thought was so smart. So we're gonna try this. Look, it might look terrible and I might change it again, but I love trying things out, right? Sometimes you don't know if it works until you gave it a shot. So we're gonna pop this here and then we're gonna see what arrangement we do around it and so on. There used to be this grow light. Oh my god, can you see this? Yes, so it's a Soltec light and I built this little stand myself. Not sure if this is also going back there or if this is getting a brand new spot somewhere else. But let's talk more doing. Let's go. Timmy!
Yeah.
Perfect. Wow, and here you can really see how dirty it is. Yeah, I think it should be more centered. Or like not centered, but a little bit. Can you just push a little bit, please? It's kind of annoying. It would be cool if I could have a plant here still.
Yeah, we'll just move it.
Yeah, but then kind of defeats the purpose. We wanted to have the plants away from the thing. Definitely can't put a plant above.
No.
But I can maybe put another one down here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like super sold. And I think I need to see what I do with the space around it, because what am I going to do with these other plants that are taken away from there now? Alrighty, Timmy's going to do the cable management. I'm going to quickly water, but I think we're going to give it a shot over here, even though I'm not like sold, but what if, Timmy?
Yeah.
What if the IKEA cabinet goes there and this goes there? And then plants go on top of the thing.
Big. It's gonna.
Should we just try it while we've got it disconnected and in this room, you know?
Yeah.
Now guys, we're having a new idea. Why not try it on this wall? Because the aircon air is actually going this way as well, right? Just to see how it looks. I'm glad we actually decided to take the plants out.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to judge with this thing in here, no?
I think that's a better spot.
You think this is a better spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad from here either.
I think it's less conspicuous.
Yeah, and it adds like light into that corner.
Yeah.
Oh, and what about my plants burning out there? Oh, it does fit. Okay. Like this.
Yeah.
And I can really easily access the IKEA cabinet, which is one of the things that I really wanted. Alright, let's do that then. I think this will look good here. And it gets like a bit of both natural light and light from there.
Yeah.
And then we can put this down below.
That looks great.
Oh my god, it looks so good. Alright,
Does this like,
watering and fan time. See ya.
Does this
Alright,
well, my work here is done.
thank you.
Pleasure.
I'll show you what we got up to in a sec, but the cable management, mwah, on fire.
The cleanliness, no, it needs to be clean.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's my thing. I'm
Yeah.
the cleaner. And while I clean, we're gonna have a chat. So let's
Yeah.
do that. Actually, I know a little bit counterintuitive, but before we go ahead and clean, let's bring the plants back. I'm pretty happy with... I've vacuumed a little bit, that's good enough for this room, but it is getting really sunny outside and I'm worried that some of my plants might get burnt out there. So let's start bringing them back, but I'm trying to be strategic in which ones I bring back first. I am thinking the Glorious should take up this corner. Glorious or Splendid should take up this corner, but I know the Splendid is getting chopped soon again, so maybe the Glorious. Oh, number one. Oh shit, I thought it was heavy getting them out there, but now they're all full of water. Whew. Because this one is going to be so heavy, I enjoy choosing a corner for it, because in a corner it can't fall as easily. What is this stem doing? This stem can't really decide where it wants to be. Look how tiny the plant looks all the way pushed into the corner. Oh, this angle is messing with us. Next one. Oh, what's coming next? I reckon, I know I said I might want to put the Splendid there to counteract how it used to grow, but I don't bloody think so. this. Okay, see how the leaves are currently like facing away a little bit? I think that will work itself out. As usual, when you do a setup like that, you need to give the plants like a few days or weeks to then adjust to the new position as well, right? How sexy is the bow custom, seriously? This, ooh, ooh. I cannot get over this newest titanium leaf. So I would like to look at it a little bit more, because at the moment it's looking out the window, right? So I always see it from the back. I would love to look at this plant from the front. So this one, Philodendron esmeraldense, used to not be in this room, and I know it's technically not velvet, but I really like this at the moment. So I thought I'd give it another chance. And the best thing is that it is quite low and it doesn't climb very fast. So it's perfect for like a little low corner, like here. Yeah, I mean, can you see these empty gaps there? Yeah, the Splendid is supposed to fill that eventually. This is exhausting. Getting steamy hot. Getting steamy hot. No, 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 no. Oopsie, shouldn't have opened the window, should I? Shit. Are you damaged? A little bit. Oh, could have been way worse. What about the other plant? Oopsie. So look. Shit. Okay, hang on, let me clean up the mess here. Well, luckily I just cleaned the floor, huh? We definitely have to clean again, but let's put them all back, and I'm gonna close that bloody window. There was too much of a draft going through, and obviously right now these are all super heavy, which is not necessarily super helpful. But let's hope the damage is kept to a minimum. To be honest, how much damage there is kind of going to show over the next few days. It's not going to show immediately. I'm hoping for the best. Oh my god, I'm a sweaty mess now as well. It's okay, that's okay, shit happens. Now let's talk about it actually, because I get asked a lot, how are your plants not falling around? This is actually a super, super rare occurrence for me. Really doesn't happen often at all, and it only ever happens on days like today, where I actually move them around and then rearrange them and so on, because, you know, I touch them and so on, and I might try something new and all of that. And like more like in limbo. Oh my god, I'm such a sweaty mess now. That doesn't really happen on a day-to-day basis when they're just in their spot, and that's why I don't actually move them for watering. Most of the time when I water them while they're here, and I just pop a bottle upside down, right? For that reason. But oh well, every now and then gotta do something about them, and obviously today that did not work out for us, but that's also okay. Oh my god, I'm so sweaty now. But not many plants left. Let me get the rest. Not sure if she's gonna stay in here forever, as I mentioned earlier, but for now I think she will. When I do the winter rearranging, she might move somewhere else. Same goes for the Majestic. She gets to stay for now to fill this empty spot, but that is not a forever solution. That is a very, very temporary solution. We are going places. You run out of battery again. Let me change your battery. Let me also just clean up the mess on the floor, and then I'll see you back. Look how dark it is. We need lights. And I desperately need to put that fan back on. It is so hot in here. We need lights and a fan. Let's go. Something I have prepared earlier. I've got 2 of the extended life spectrums by Mother. These were gifted. I did not pay for them, but they are not paying for this video, or like they're not paying for my opinion. I do love these lights. They are kind of like the improved version of the lights I had initially, the plant spectrums, and well, they improved them based on a lot of our feedback. So I've been working with them quite closely for a long time now, and I've kind of been telling them what would make their lights better, and I said we need a way to extend them so I don't have to dodgily extend the old ones. So they came up with the life spectrum. Now the LED is the exact same as the plant spectrum, so the plants won't even notice a difference, but it is more aesthetically pleasing for me. So it's a more human decision, not necessarily a plant related decision. I can also dim them nicely to do like the sunrise sunset thing, like yeah. And they are connected internally. I've got a full review of this light on my channel, so I don't need to repeat all of this. To give it extra stability, I do have the Pro base on here, that's a little bit heavier, but I also then want to put kind of half of it under the rug. I can also use the rug for cable management. It's a disco. Alright, I plugged them in. They're flashing like crazy. Let's go. Edit device. Just adding them to my app. Well, that's working on it. Let me bring back the fan. Okay, I need to set up a schedule and I renamed them and all of that, but I can do that. The pairing was super easy though. It just found it straight away. And oh my god, this looks so much better. Now I just need to see. I reckon this light is going to be more here. Yeah. Epic. Less intrusive, right? Because they're silver, you can hardly see them. Now, it's not looking the best for now. I actually think I want to rearrange again. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Okay. I'm clearly not in the right mindset to do this. This looks terrible now that I'm looking at it. Why don't we focus on the IKEA cabinet and the mess in my living room, and then once at least that's sorted, we can come back here and I can look at it with fresh eyes. Why don't we do that? First things first, I don't know how well you can see this because I'm filming against the light, but this is a new section, so I moved this cabinet down here and the IKEA cabinet is now in that spot instead. And then I thought maybe from here looks better. The camera is struggling so much. I just thought, oh my god, this looks terrible. But I thought the variegation over here looks really good, the Florida Beauty. And even my housemate, who doesn't really care too much about plants, said this looks really nice. So I feel like everywhere I look, I see projects and it's making me nervous. Let's finish one thing. Let's finish the IKEA cabinet so we can move on. Let's do that. I should clean the cabinet first, right? Look, when I said I enjoy rearranging and plant care and so on, only when things go right. When things go wrong, I don't like it anymore. Alright. I'll probably just get rid of this fan for now. Finally, okay, so this has also taken all of my concentration, so I wanted to talk to you guys. Let me get plants and I moved them into the IKEA cabinet and we discuss life. Spiritus Sancti. What I really want to talk to you guys about is that yesterday was my 1-year anniversary of doing this full time, which is crazy. I can't believe I have been growing plants full time for a year now. Time has gone by so quickly. Honestly, that felt like a few months. I am still very much enjoying it. Like, I have no desire to do something different at the moment. Am I happy with the success of this channel? Yes, I think so. I think I have all the reason to be happy and proud of what I've achieved. Could it be better? Of course. Things could always be better, right? I mean, if we're going off that criteria, then nobody should be happy in life, because there's always somebody who's probably doing better. But I suppose that also depends on what you're trying to achieve. Am I going to do this for forever? No. Look, the goal was always to do it for as long as it makes me happy, for as long as it brings me joy. As soon as it doesn't bring any joy, I will not continue to do this. Huh? Oh, I forgot to show you all of those now, because now I'm actually finally started talking. That's okay, we'll do a video about it soon, where I just focus on the cabinet. I'm happy with that. So yeah, look, I mean, I'm just doing it for now while I'm enjoying it and it pays my bills. Like, why not? However, I do know it's going to be very, very challenging to, you know, ever afford a house deposit or you know, kind of move on to the next stage in life and own a house instead of renting and so on. It won't get me there. But that's also okay. I just understand the limitations that come with the job that I have chosen, and I'll make the best out of it. But that means that potentially this could come to an end rather sooner than later, or like this could come to an end as soon as I have to move out of this house. So for now, I'm just going to make the best out of this and really enjoy the time that I have and enjoy filming, enjoy this place, because who knows, I might not be privileged enough to do this for forever. Hence, I wanted to talk to you guys about it today, because one thing I'm really terrible at is kind of appreciating what I currently have. And it's actually been really nice talking to the camera about these things, because it makes me really think things through and then appreciate it accordingly. Okay, we're back in this room and we're trying this again. And while I rearrange this again, I would like to talk to you about, let's say, like my achievements over the year, or kind of say what we achieved, right? I couldn't do this without you guys. So, and I'm just moved the lights off again. I think it's always really good to look back at a year and see what you've achieved. I actually do this with a friend of mine from back in Germany. We do it every year on the 24th of June. Oh, hope I didn't get this wrong. But on the 24th of June, we do it every year, where we kind of discuss our life or the last 12 months and everything that happened in those last 12 months. And I think it is such a cool little tradition that we have, my friend and I, because it really makes me think the year through, and it really makes me realize how much can happen in a given year. And because, you know, you normally just moving on, right? Like, it's also good to not dwell on the past, fair enough. But, you know, we're usually just so quick to move on and focus on the next thing and always focus on the next issue, and so that we don't take time to actually look back at the year and be grateful for how amazing it was potentially, and so on, right? So I'm changing that today. I'm going to use my camera roll as a bit of guidance as well, by the way, because sometimes you forget what happened. So I remember the first thing, my first day of doing this full time was 1st of March, and 2 days later I flew to Adelaide with Jolique, which was my first ever like brand campaign outside of my house, and it was the second time I worked with them. But the first time I was flown somewhere, and they flew me to Adelaide Hills, actually first time being in Adelaide Hills, and that was so cool. I really loved that. That was such a nice kickstart to my new life, you know, and when I told them over there, they're all so nice. Everybody was so nice, and everybody was also so happy for me to have made that step and have made that decision, and to have managed to do this full time. And I mean, at that time, I didn't even really manage to do it full time yet. I was just planning on doing it full time, but a year later, turns out I did it. So that was just really, really nice because it just really made me realize that, yeah, I think I can do this. I think this is going to be just fun. And yeah, I went there and I filmed a little bit for this channel, but mainly also for my vlog channel, like my second channel that kind of I only started back then. On that note, actually, I am not super active on my second channel, I have to say. Initially, I was thinking I upload 2 videos a week on this channel, but it's actually been 3 videos a week on this channel over the last few months. And that third video was supposed to focus on my second channel and maybe explore some non-planty concepts, but I actually very quickly realized that I want to talk about plants. I don't necessarily feel super comfortable talking about life with everybody, with the internet non-stop. I think plants is really like, you know, my comfort zone, and I'm happy to talk about plants. So I rather focus on this existing channel than my second channel. But it's good having a second channel. It's good to, you know, explore a different way of content creation. I think overall also when I look back at footage from a year ago, I think I've gotten much faster and better at editing and taking content as well. Anyway, right after Adelaide, Tim and I actually finished his garden project. So that's crazy. I think by the time you see this, you maybe, you might have seen Tim's full garden transformation already. But it is crazy to me that this really only started a year ago. I think that's crazy. And we have since done so many projects in his garden, lots of them with Bunnings, so really grateful for companies like Bunnings to have like an ongoing relationship with. They want to work with me and they really enable me to keep doing this as well. Definitely something I had more confirmation of over the year that I've had as well, is that I don't need to work with everybody. I don't need to take on every sponsorship that is proposed to me and so on. I really only want to work with companies that I like, companies that I would normally use as a hobbyist as well. Not just work with companies that I use because I do this as a job. I often get asked, because the lights, the mother lights for example, they're not cheap at all, right? So people ask me like, if you wouldn't get them for free, would you still buy them? And I would, right? My mom always told me to go ahead and buy a quality product. It will last you a lifetime and it will end up being cheaper than buying lots of, you know, low value products at lower quality and then having to replace them frequently and so on, right? Also, if you spend more money on something, you usually take a little bit better care of it and so on. You know, the products and the materials in themselves are better quality and so on. However, would I have 8 of them? Absolutely not, right? It would be probably like the showpiece, right? And I'd be like, oh, I want that one for the living room because it looks good and I'm gonna put my favorite plant there and so on. Would I use this for every single one of my plants in like a hidden room somewhere? Probably not. But also, if I wouldn't be doing this as a job, I wouldn't have that many plants in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously doing this on a different scale. Now that I'm doing it full time and then it's my full-time job, I need to come up with 3 video ideas a week, right? So I need to have many plants. And a lot of these plants that I actually have for content purposes. So yeah, if I would not be doing this as a job, I would definitely be pickier with the plants that I actually keep. You know, I've done videos over the course of this year that are focused on plants I would not buy again, and they have actually done exceptionally well. People are like, oh, if you hate them so much, why wouldn't you just get rid of them, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, it is my job to make content using plants. If I get rid of all of my plants, where's the content coming from? So sometimes failures, or actually very often failures, and things going wrong, or you know, me showing why I wouldn't want to keep a plant, or what I do with a plant, and so on, and maybe chop it up and try again, right? That's content for me. However, if our hobby grower, I would get rid of it earlier. If I were a hobby grower, I wouldn't have a house like this in the first place. If I were a hobby grower, I wouldn't have a garden, to be honest. I would not have a greenhouse, to be honest, because it comes with the requirement for such a large space. I move really frequently. I would have chosen a much more cost-effective living situation if I wouldn't have to account for all of the plants. But the plants obviously then help me afford the place in the first place. So all I'm saying is, like, it makes total sense for me to have such a large place with so many plants, a garden, a greenhouse. Apologies, we ran out of storage. But here I am. All I've done so far is, I think I just pushed the Majestic in the corner all the way over here, like behind the Glorious. So I just have this kind of wall pretty empty now, which I have a few options with. Don't think I need to go to the gym tonight. This is workout enough. Okay, sorry, I was also mid-conversation. I was saying that obviously, because I do this as a job, I do things differently to if I would just do this as a person, right? And that kind of impacts all aspects of plants. I have plants that I grow that I normally wouldn't grow. I have a garden that is bigger than I require. I have a greenhouse that is bigger than I require. Nobody requires plants. Plants are a luxury item, right? I of course use them to decorate my house with, but I have way more than I need, right? I have doubles, triples, and so on. And I often do that because my job is to create content. However, all of the brands that I work with, all of the products that I use are still products that I genuinely use, right? Just my use is more commercial than your average grower, right? I do things on a bigger scale than somebody with a couple of houseplants would do, and so on. Still, I'm trying to keep it somewhat relatable and share my failures and so on as well, but of course I'm doing it on commercial level. I'm doing it on a, you know, larger scale, let's say. But yeah, ultimately, coming back to the Bunnings, Mothers, Joliques and so on of the world, those are all brands that I genuinely would use, even if they wouldn't be giving me products for free. So I want to share what I use. That doesn't mean that I would judge somebody for going ahead with a different type of product. I'm just showing you what I use. Maybe it's helpful because you realize that actually this is not the solution that I want. I'm looking for something different. Maybe it is helpful because, you know, you're like, okay, I actually do want that. Anyway, hopefully it's helpful to you, but at the end of the day, that is definitely something that I didn't necessarily foresee. I actually expected there to be maybe more collaborations over the first year of doing this full time, because obviously I have more time, you know, I can create more content, but that didn't actually happen. I was very much just working with the brands that I've already been working with beforehand, and in hindsight I'm really happy about that, because that is kind of what I want to stand for as well. Anyway, we're going way off topic. Let's move on. And actually I want to change the camera angle. I think this looks better. Yeah, look at that. That's a bit better now. If I move this across a little more. Look, now I can even stand right between them. They definitely look less intrusive than the black ones, right? Anyway, let's keep going. What else happened? In May, I actually had a film crew come over to film my house. It actually hasn't been released yet, and I've checked in with them. They didn't know when it's going to be released, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's ever going to be released, but it was still really cool having them here and film with them, and they gave me really good feedback, or like they were really they obviously liked my plants, but they were also really happy with my like camera presence and so on. So that was a really nice, cool thing to do that really kind of boosted my ego a little bit. We obviously had winter, which wasn't the greatest, but then in spring I was finally able to really, you know, travel a little bit more, because beforehand, you know, doing two things, doing YouTube and having a full-time job, I basically had no time for any of that. So I've been to Brisbane, I've been to Melbourne, I've been to Fiji, I've been to Miami. I mean, that was such a cool trip, being invited by Plant Hall to go to Miami to the Aeroid Society Expo and represent GT Foliage Focus over there and meet so many of you guys. That was definitely one of my highlights of the year. But yeah, that wasn't really holiday, that was a business trip more. But yeah, Fiji, I think it was a big accomplishment on a personal level, right? Where I'm actually doing things that I always wanted to do. I'm taking a little bit more time for myself, actually on a private level. I don't often talk to you guys about private life, but I've very much developed in that sense, if you know what I mean. Where, you know, I think I used to not allow myself to have time for a private life because I was just so busy hustling, you know, and now I'm actually allowing myself to have a little bit more time, explore that side, and it's been nice. So that's a huge achievement, I think, on a personal level, and I really gave myself the time. We've had the best revenue months ever last year, October, November, and then actually just February this year. There was the three best revenue months ever, just on YouTube, let's say. Let's exclude other partnerships and so on. So that's really good. At least I can see that there's somewhat of an upwards trajectory, you know, which is good. What else happened? Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna miss things. Let me scroll through my camera roll to make sure I didn't forget anything. Miss Bailey, how could I forget Miss Bailey? Tim got Miss Bailey, our cutest little dog. Oh my god, look how tiny she was back then. A new family member, how that is huge, right? Like all of that happened in this year, and I feel like I was able to spend quite a lot of time with her because, well, I have time available, which is nice. I went to Miss AJ's a couple of times as well. We're actually going on a road trip this weekend. Yay, finally, we're getting out of the house. AJ and I always do work-related stuff, so it's really nice to do something a little bit more fun. We're going on a road trip. Of course, we're going to film a vlog though, so we are going to work a little bit at least. Second Brisbane trip, to the Troye Sivan concert. I had a little bit more time to look after myself in that year. I started going to the gym a little bit more, and I'm actually trying to put on a little bit of weight, or put on a little bit of muscle, which was also kind of hard beforehand because I had to juggle so many things, and it just wasn't really a priority. So that's also really good. I don't need to mention every single little thing, but I think overall, if I think back at the year that I've had, even that Adelaide trip that was at the very beginning of last year feels like a lifetime ago. I can't believe how much has happened. There's been over 100 videos that are published since then. I definitely very much got away from the short form Instagram sort of content, and I much prefer doing long form content now. It's my I have so many ideas for long form content. I have zero ideas for short form content. I much prefer having these long interactive sessions with you guys. I think you probably got to know me much better over the last year as well. So I think overall it was a great year, full of flexibility, full of fun, full of joy, but also I think I developed a lot personally in my private life. I developed a lot in my online presence, I think, or at least I am more clear with what I want to achieve online and what I don't want, what I stand for, what I don't stand for. I think I have a more solid moral compass that I can run everything by, right? And make sure that, you know, everything that I do kind of aligns with my values as well. And I think that's really important when operating online, right? It's a broad world. So I think I'm feeling much more comfortable operating online, which is good given that's my job, right? So I think a lot of growth professionally as well, and I've definitely learned skills around editing or like filming in general, right? That hopefully I can put to good use for the foreseeable future. I also need to quickly charge my mics because I've been talking so much, but let me quickly vacuum, and I'm also going to quickly steam up, and then I'll show you around. Let's do that. Alrighty, and welcome to the new office. We've got the Gigas over here, Glorious over here, the Majestic pushed into the corner, don't mind it at all the way there, the El Choco down below over here. Next to that we've got my favorite, the Veracosum. It looks like it kind of didn't suffer too much from that fall. This was here already, so fingers crossed no further damage is showing. Underneath we've got the Patricia, looking good. Next to that the Milano really needs to start growing again, please. And the Soderoy kind of like hidden in there, but that leaves actually looking good over here. And then we've got the Splendid over here. that is due for a big chop. Probably a couple more leaves and then it needs to be chopped, and then with that I probably rearrange for winter, and then the emeraldents down here as well. Moved in here. Now against the window nothing actually changed, it was exactly like that beforehand. Hard to film, but I wanted to show you this beautiful heart-shaped leaf over here. Scalado is here. I figured they were both growing so well in this window, let's not fix what's not broken. And then I've got the two alocasias here and the verrucosan runner, verrucosan climber, crawler, whatever, you know what I mean, over there. Oop, and then my desk. And the fan is sitting there now. But I think from here, and then we put you back on wide angle, it looks better and not as cluttered, right? I think maybe this light could move over a little more. There you go. Better. Look at that. I think it looks really good. So the IKEA cabinet is now on the left over here, but it's actually narrower than the cabinet that was here before. So it's actually making it look more space efficient, and we can actually see the cabinet now. And wow, it also makes a huge difference cleaning it, even though I didn't even do a good job at cleaning it. We can now actually look into this cabinet. Wow. Okay, have a look. Come on, fan, why are you making these weird noises? Good. Hey, stop making this weird noise. Serpents, variegated Milano, Villamanamama. Batik, this one needs to be put in moss, in like the vase I showed you before. Yeah, now that I can actually see the cabinet, look at the oblique down there, I really enjoy it. I really like it. I think, well, actually, it looks better with this door closed because the second light is at the door. But I think it looks really good now. I really like it. Maybe rearrange one more time. So you go. I feel like it's a little empty on the left, a little fuller on the right. Might want to even that out a little bit, but you know, different day. But overall, I think it looks good here, and I'm so happy with how easily accessible these plants are now. I film these plants a lot, and I have actually avoided filming because I couldn't get to them. So yeah, it's the small things that make a difference. Oh my god, I can't believe how clean this looks. Apart from this really messy streak over here. And then this is the corner that actually was intended for the IKEA cabinet, but now has the Florida Ghost, second Mandula. That might also not stay here forever because it's my second one, and you know, when winter comes around, duplicates might have to move. And then my Scindapsus that used to always be on this sideboard. The sideboard used to just be there, so it used to get very little light, so it should be okay with that. And then over here is the Bellicosum. I put it here in this east-facing window now. Definitely see a bit of damage from where that one fell. Oh my god, that was a stupid moment. I hate how this looks on camera. It looks so good in real life and it just looks terrible on camera. Maybe from here. Looks slightly, nah. Doesn't matter which angle I come from, it kind of looks terrible on camera. Oh yeah. Anyway, that is it. That was exhausting. I am tired, so it's definitely time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for coming along. I hope this wasn't boring. I know there wasn't like a full-on point in today's video, right? I was kind of just fluffing around here and there, rearranging, changing my mind, talking to you about whatever just pops into my head. But honestly, that is actually my life. That is how I am. I do change my minds, I have ideas, but at the end of the day, you gotta execute it and then look at it, and then if I'm not happy, I'm gonna redo it, right? I mean, why not? Anyway, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a nice comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on the bell notification, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.